Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today's video is a poison arrow I usually hold in reserve for wise guys. But because I know I put myself against the entire biblical world in the last video, for everyone has been taken by the almost humans' traps and snares of wayward perception, I think it would only be prudent to seal the deal of their perceptional witchcraft right now. This video is intended to show you yet again what the world attributes to Lucifer's desires are not his at all. Nope. They are the wants, dreams, and desires of a human who has the assistance of fallen high holy ones. How do I plan on doing this, you ask? By using the tried and true line upon line and precept upon precept method. What will we be looking for, you wonder? Proving through the scriptures the fact of a human with balls the size of South America doing the exact same thing we have discovered earlier. I have a challenge for you though. If I can prove what I am saying beyond a shadow of a doubt, mind you, I challenge you to forward this video series to someone you love. It will be on the honor system. Deal? I can't hear your answer because this is a video. But if you said deal, let's begin, shall we? The book of Daniel, chapter 8, starting at verse 20. Quote, "And it shall come to pass as I, even I, Daniel, saw the vision and sought to understand it, that, behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man, and I heard the voice of a man between the banks of the Ubal, and he called and said, Gabriel, cause that man to understand the vision. And he came and stood near where I stood. And when he came, I was struck with awe and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, Understand, son of man, for yet the vision is for an appointed time. And while he spoke with me, I fell upon my face to the earth. And he touched me and set me on my feet." Stop. Uncle Daniel basically said he was the equivalent of a 1965 teenage girl and Elvis Presley said hello. Yep, he fainted face first. Let's continue. Quote, "And he said, Behold, I make thee know the things that shall come to pass at the end of the wrath." Let me say that again. "And he said, Behold, I make thee know the things that shall come to pass at the end of the wrath. For the vision is yet for an appointed time." Stop. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel is about to tell Daniel what the vision he saw means. But notice, everything that will be said is not the true reason for the entire vision. Why do I say such silly things? Because it said, quote, "I make thee know the things that shall come to pass at the end of the wrath." And that can only mean the true message and reason for the vision in the first place was hope and salvation. Remember, Uncle Daniel was in exile in Babylon and wanted to go home, just like me, and hopefully like you. But let's continue. Quote, "The ram which thou sawest that had the horns is the king of the Medes and Persians. The he-goat is the king of the Greeks. And the great horn which was between his eyes, he is the first king." Stop. Am I the only person who have heard countless scholars scurry over this prophecy and always start their countdown from the he-goat? But it plainly says here, the great horn between his eyes was the first king. Remember this, please. Let's continue. Again, I just want us to see the spiritual aspect to what we see in the physical. Okay? Quote, "And as for the one that was broken, in whose place there stood up 4 horns, 4 kings shall arise out of his nation, but not in their own strength. And at the latter time of their kingdom, when the sins are coming to the full. Stop. Okay. Listen up now. Here we start listening up. As far as I know, history only attests to one situation like this on the world stage scale, and that was Nephilim Prince Alexander the Great. Everybody know the story, right? Due to Alexander being a boy lover, he didn't have any heirs to his throne. And as the story goes, he split his kingdom into 4 parts for his 4 boyhood general friends. The only 2 kingdoms that truly matter is Ptolemy and the other is Seleucus. Why? Because they became the rulers of Egypt and what would later become the Byzantine Empire of Rome. You know, the iron in the statue in Uncle Daniel prophecy. Oh yeah, little underknown and understood fact. The Byzantine Empire outlasted the Rome that crushed us by 1,000 years. And it is this fact that brings us to this junction in the prophecy. As you can see in the statue, we have iron in the last kingdom upon the earth. And this prophecy says, quote, and at the latter times of their kingdom when their sins are coming to a full. And that can only mean today is the latter time of their kingdom. And that can only mean the evildoers' hands are all on deck, which can only mean witchcraft, sorceries, spiritual warfare, and every intended and unintended consequence are playing themselves out at this very moment. And that can only mean whatever is said next, we must be on the lookout for. Let's continue, please. Perceptual context. Like I said before, if I can show you yet again one guy that fits the description of the Prince of Tyrus perfectly, would you at least stop it with all your doubt and share this video series with someone you love? I'm going to let the beat rock so to give you time for remembrance. Brother, light the arrow tips now, please. Quote, and at the latter time of their kingdom, when their sins are coming to a full, there shall arise a king bold in continence and understanding riddles. And his power shall be great, and he shall destroy wonderfully and prosper and practice, and shall destroy mighty men and the holy people. And the yoke of his chain shall prosper. There is craft in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by craft shall destroy many, and he shall stand up for the destruction of many, and shall crush them as eggs in his hand. And the vision of the evening and morning that was mentioned is true. And do thou seal the vision, for it is for many days. And I, Daniel, fell asleep and was sick. Then I arose and did the king's business. And I wondered at the vision, and there was none that understood it. Example. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, X marks the spot, or X spots the mark. However you want to say it. We read about this guy in the last video. Yep. All the way down to his wicked heart desires. Surely with a magnified heart like the guy in the last video, balls the size of Texas like the guy in the last video, crushing people like eggs and destroying the mighty men and the holy people just like the guy in the last video, understanding riddles, meaning getting knowledge mankind should know from an evildoer handler, just like in the last video. I don't know about you, but for the guy in the last video to inhabit the dwellings of God, Surely this guy's attributes of, quote, and his power shall be great, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and prosper, and practice, and shall destroy mighty men, and the holy people. And the yoke of his chain shall prosper, and there is craft in his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by craft shall destroy many. Fits the bill pretty good. No? Yes? And everybody knows, if he was getting the answer to riddles, thus causing craft to prosper in his hands, surely there is something on the other end of the craft line giving him the answers. And if what we see in the physical is any indication of what happens in the spiritual, nothing is free. Meaning, they want something back from you. We will see what they wanted in the second example. But as far as this example is concerned, as you can see thus far, ladies and gentlemen, this is a man who has dreams and ambitions in his heart. And through witchcraft and being a made man in the spiritual world, his angelic boss has made him an underboss. Let's continue for yet another example of a man who displays the exact same brazen characteristics to seal this deal. Please flip the pages a couple of times and stop at Daniel chapter 11. I will not read the entire chapter today, but there is so much information in it, I reserve the right to dissect it very soon. But as far as this video is concerned, our main focus is only a man with huge balls, a heart that has big dreams, thinks he is God, and is being assisted by fallen high holy ones. Perceptual context. The beginning of this chapter talks about the infamous king of the north against the king of the south in time battles. But I want to focus on what the scriptures call the latter times, where certain people are described doing certain events in the upcoming days. For this, we will start at verse 29 after the king of the north won a major victory against the king of the south and went on a victory tour. Afterwards, he came to fight the southern king again. Quote, at the set time he shall return and shall come unto the south. But the last expedition shall not be as the first. For the Scythians issuing forth shall come against him, and shall be brought, and he shall be brought low. Let me say it again. For the Scythians issuing forth shall come against him, and he shall be brought low, and shall return, and shall be incensed against the holy covenant, and he shall do thus, and shall return, and have intelligence with them that have forsaken the holy covenant. Stop! As you will see in the next video, God's will, those who have forsaken the holy covenant are the fallen high holy ones, and not a race of people. It's not truly relevant in this video, so I will continue and we'll explore it in the next video. Let's continue, please. Listen up. The KJV totally misdirects you next. Verse 31. Quote, and seeds, S-E-E-D-S, shall spring up out of him, and they shall profane the sanctuary of strength, and they shall remove the perpetual sacrifice, and make the abomination desolate. Let me go back and read it again. Verse 31. And seeds shall spring up out of him, and they shall profane the sanctuary of strength, and they shall remove the perpetual sacrifice, and make the abomination desolate. Stop. Did you catch it? Do I need to read it again? Let me go ahead and read it again. Make sure I get it right. Get it right, get it right, get it tight. Verse 31. Quote, and seeds shall spring up out of him, and they shall profane the sanctuary of strength, and they shall remove the perpetual sacrifice, and make the abomination desolate. Stop. Yeah, that's it. Did you catch it? To say, and seeds shall spring up out of him, versus how the KJV puts it, quote, and arms shall stand on his part. Oh, worlds apart in discernment, don't you think? I am starting to understand. The KJV was designed to hide genealogies, human versus non-humans, and as we can see, angels/Nephilims versus humans. And also, I believe certain dispensations were intentionally blurred to bring about the evildoer's ultimate ruse on the chosen race at the end time. I can just hear you casting out right when I said that. Ultimate ruse? What you talking about, scribe? Well, let's continue to find out. Listen up, Israelites. Quote, and the transgressors shall bring about a covenant by deceitful ways, but a people knowing their God shall prevail and do valiantly. Stop. Bingo. Hence, why you and I congratulate every chance I get. Here's what I see thus far in my return journey, people. The evildoers started the black Hebrew Israelite cults to do exactly what they are doing, preparing our people for a deceitful covenant. Think about it like an ultra villain for just a minute. To say, quote, and the transgressors shall bring about a covenant by deceitful ways, can only mean, and I repeat, can only mean, the evildoers will use Hegelian dialect to get you to give your power unto the beast willingly. What? Hegelian dialect. Where some assertable proposition is necessarily opposed by an equally assertable and apparently contradictory proposition, with the mutual contradiction being reconciled on a higher level of truth by a third proposition. Basically, he's just said, they will create a situation and then an equal counter situation, knowing full well the solution they will introduce was the target solution they wanted in the first damn place. Yep. You willingly give in to their wants and wishes out of fear, desire, etc. Wicked white genius. And by you guys thinking my God is blessing you now, with you now, giving you back your heritage now, thinking the kingdom of heaven starts with the ISUPK, etc. now, they have successfully beguiled Israelites in the exact same manner as they have beguiled the heathens. Let me explain. You would have to be the biggest dummy alive to believe that Israelis have fulfilled even one of the prophecies designed to be a mark, sign, and wonder upon my God's people. Yet, they have successfully manufactured prophecy fulfillment enough to have the white world at their feet. And because you guys teach and want to believe my God will bless you in Babylon, and because you think you are the prophets that the scriptures attest will be raised up to teach the people, and because you think the prophecy of 2/3 of Israel dying was fulfilled by the Romans, and because you have no earthly clue about the, there I go again, my mind. That's it. Look inside it. I'm stuck. What? Okay, that's right. I'm sorry. You have no earthly idea or understanding about the monsters, giants, and dragons, nor the differences between Satan, the devil, Lucifer, and the rest of the evildoer gangs, etc. because of all of this lack of wisdom and understanding and teaching men so, it is painstakingly clear to me you will sign your name on the dotted line with the quickness, and to show your allegiance, to honor your covenant with the almost humans, you will squeal on your righteous brothers who know the scripture prophecies, know the order of events of true deliverance, know the signs of the times, and better yet, will boldly tell all you mother suckers, kick rocks with your blasphemy and madness, because I know my God. Now wait a minute. Surely we know if you will have a nigger moment from someone stepping on your Air Force Ones, does anyone think you're going to take this obvious disrespect, and especially with the white man's blessings at that? Oh, hell no. So you know what you're going to do? Yep. Fulfill prophecy and cause your brother to be put to death. This is not baptized scribe telling you the future. This is the scriptures coming at you live and direct. What? Show you? All right, I will. Let's continue, please. Quote, and the transgressors shall bring about a covenant by deceitful ways, but a people knowing their God shall prevail and do valiantly. Endure, called and chosen, and the intelligent of the people shall understand much, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, and by captivity, and by spoil of many days. Stop. Bingo. Behold, the anointed one's prophecies of an upcoming persecution from the Christians and black Hebrew Israelites precepted, if that's a word. Yep, I hear everything he said right here. What? Why did I say the black Hebrew Israelites? First, because if you understand the prophecy the anointed one was laying down, you will quickly come to the conclusion your own will turn you in and smite you first, then turn you over to the civil authorities. And second, because of the context of what is in the passage, think about it deal-wise for just a minute. You can't have a deceitful covenant with yourself, can you? No! You must have someone to deceive to make that happen. Now think about it intelligently for just a minute. If the intelligent will know their God, doesn't that mean the unintelligent will not? And if this is so, can we deduce? Deduce, mind you. The unintelligent will be the ones who are deceived to receive a deceitful covenant. Endure triple C's. Pray for me, and I will pray for you. But wait! Verse 34, quote, and when they are weak, they shall be helped with a little help. But many shall attach themselves to them with treachery, and some of them that understand shall fall, to try them as with fire, and to test them, and that they may be manifested at the time of the end. For the matter is yet for a set time. Stop! Stop talking to these damn Gentiles, people. Stop! I got enough to worry about treacherous Judah. Nevertheless, those you proselytize, scream at, and coerce into your cults, not realizing they were agents acting like Dracula, just waiting for you to let them in. But wait! Don't think for a second I'm just talking about white people. I'm talking about all the nations you have on that damn chart. Please remember one important thing, triple C's, for only you I care about. Remember the video when my God told us, not baptized a scribe, but my God told us, there are those amongst us, meaning they look like us, that are not us, and are knowingly, as in agents, knowingly setting traps and snares. Question: if this is a spiritual / worship situation, What type of traps and snares do you think they could possibly set that will cost you your salvation? Yep, doctrines of the white devils. Yeah. These black Hebrew Israelites paint the characters black and even use fancy Canaanite Aramaic words. But the total context of their understanding will lead to nothing more than dead man bones. As for me, you can say I am whatever you want to say I am. But one thing for sure you must say, I have and will always tell you to return to Yah. He is your only hope. Know your God, people. Be not deceived. But let's continue, please. Now it switches back to talk about the king. Oh yeah, the reason he is called a king here, and a prince in other places is because he is a king upon the earth, but a prince of Lucifer. Listen up, people, and get ready to forward this video series to people. Quote, and he shall do according to his will, and the king shall exalt and magnify himself against every god, and shall speak great swelling words, and shall prosper until the indignation shall be accomplished, for it is coming to an end. And he shall not regard any god of his fathers, nor the desire of women, neither shall he regard any deity, for he shall magnify himself above all. And he shall honor the God of forces in his place. On his place. As it says, on his place. On it. And he shall honor the God of forces on his place. That's kind of tricky. Let's continue. Let me go back, because this is very important. And he shall honor the God of forces on his place. And a God whom his fathers knew not, he shall honor. Not worship, but honor. With gold and silver and precious stones and desirable things. Stop! Bada bing, bada boom. As you can see, either we have multiple mega villains who have the exact same MO on the scene in the last days, or this is the guy who is responsible for the 5 I wills you ascribe to Lucifer. But am I the only person to perceive he has 2 sponsors? One his fathers knew, the God of forces, and another his fathers did not know. I have a regular educated guess about who they are, but that comes a little later. Question. Remember earlier when I said I would tell you what his sponsors wanted in return for the wisdom they have bestowed upon him? Let's continue, please. Quote, and he shall not regard any god of his fathers, nor the desire of women, neither shall he regard any deity, for he shall magnify himself above all. And he shall honor the God of forces on his place, and a God whom his fathers knew not, he shall honor with gold and silver and precious stones and desirable things. And he shall do thus in the strong places of refuge with a strange God, and shall increase his glory, and he shall subject many to them, and shall distribute the land in gifts. Example. They wanted personal contact dominion over mankind. But wait! Am I the only person to perceive? These 2 cats are not gods of this realm. What I mean is, if they were a high holy one, fallen, or even a Nephilim in this realm, first, they would be known by our fathers. And second, they would already have riches, land, and dominion upon the earth. How on earth can a puny human give an angel anything? No, I don't think these 2 cats are either extraterrestrial or even terrestrial at all. But I do have a regular educated guess that they are subterranean gods. You want to hear my theory? Here it goes. Perceptual context. Okay, so we are looking for two demons who our fathers knew not, that are given dominion and land over many. I think we can handle that. And for a bonus, I think I can prove the KJV intentionally covered up what demon is what and what dispensation prophecies are supposed to happen. Turn to Daniel chapter 7 for just a minute. Though the prophecies are not in order, Yah lets the cat out the bag. Check it out. Quote, I, Daniel, beheld, and lo, the four winds of heaven blew violently upon the great sea. And there came up four great beasts out of the sea, differing one from another. The first was as a lioness, and her wings as an eagle's. I beheld until her wings were plucked, and she was lifted off from the earth. And she stood on human feet, and a man's heart was given to her. Stop. Well, well, well. Isn't that special? Sounds like the KJV was trying to be chivalrous and not taint the respectability of a lady. This one fact will be monumental in an upcoming video. Please remember it. But though that was significant, she/he is not who he was looking for. Why? Because it doesn't say she was given dominion over people and land. Let's continue our treasure hunt, shall we? Quote, and behold, a second beast like a bear, and it supported itself on one side, and there were 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And thus they said to it, what? And thus they said to it, arise, devour much flesh. After this one, I looked, and behold, another wild beast, as a leopard, and it had 4 wings of a bird upon it. And the wild beast had 4 heads. Listen up. And power was given to it. Example. Everybody knows about the 4th beast. You know, the dreadful beast God the Assyrian worships. Think about it. The Assyrian and the beast are destroyed. That can only mean they can't be the same. Besides, there were 10 other kingdoms that came with the beast. The Assyrian was the last to ascend from the netherworld. So there is no need to read about him. But, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 God/beasts that were given dominion to destroy people and land. And surely our fathers had no earthly idea, pun intended, who these monsters and giants are. Why? Because they originated before the flood and were being prepared in the netherworld. I will stop there because I'm tired. I know I have proven my overall case through the perceptional and precept scriptures, and you've got to get busy figuring out who you will send these video series to. Thank you for looking at this video. Yah's will. I got a good one for you next. Oh yeah, I want to give a special shout out to everyone that believed and perceived what was written in the first video part. Praise my God. That was pretty good, pretty awesome. Hallelujah.